By overseas Asian students, I mean people coming from China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan, and could be more. For anyone who have taught in the North American classrooms, that is an observable phenomenon. English language ability should be an obvious reason, but today I'm not going to address it. Putting aside this reason for now, today I want to explore what are the other external reasons. Now, not all subject matters require students to speak in the classrooms. If you study science like computer science or mathematics, most likely students aren't required to speak. But if you study humanities or social sciences, and in our school, the Center for Christian Studies would be ministry-related courses, students are required to express opinions. And for us, CCS who committed to circle learning, verbal expressions are assumed. The course of learning is about listening, but also offering verbal analysis, reflection, and interpretations. Western adult education model in general focuses on individual expressions. It is based on certain assumptions. Circle learning is considered as the manifestation of democracy and individual human rights. A group of peers facing each other as respectful equals, and teachers sometimes are also sitting down, not standing up. Progressive-leaning teachers like the circle because it draws students into conversation and gives everyone a chance to be seen and heard. Those are the assumptions. But not everyone does well equally in circle learning. But it is not what today's video is about. For those who come from Asia, they have a different set of assumptions. Those assumptions give shape to their learning patterns and preferences. First, students who come from Asia have had most of their societal culture and tradition shaped by Confucianism. Countries such as China, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Singapore, and even Vietnam carry strong Confucian ethics in their societies. According to Confucianism, teaching is a highly respected profession, almost comparable to being the emperor. Since childhood, we have been learning this, to observe societal rules, respect teachers and the elderly, practice filial piety. Only those who practice these have future in their lives. If we don't do this, we will be punished. We who come from Asia have been punished endless time. Classrooms are being seen as the extension of family life. This Confucian ethics is being adored in society and being considered as the healthy sign of a society. The idea of education is to let the next generation to understand this kind of ethics, the foundation of a healthy society. And because of this reason, not everyone can speak. One must get the teacher's invitation or approval in order to speak. Besides having an impact on family practices, Confucianism is also a scholastic and value knowledge type of tradition. We adored educated person who are knowledgeable and intelligent. We would sit and listen to such person for hours. An educated person shouldn't be talkative in public. They must exercise thoughtfulness and weigh the ideas seriously before saying it. Such is considered the charisma of an educated person. There is a Chinese saying, a mountain cannot have two tigers. Population in Asia is extremely dense. The number of students is huge, and so are the graduates every year. This fact has turned Asia to be an extremely competitive place in terms of education. Not everyone who desires can enter university and higher education institutions. One must be significantly better than the others in order to be enrolled. Another impact of Confucianism is to distinguish between private and public self. This distinction is extremely important for Asian communities. Private self is where your feeling, opinions, and inner thoughts sit. It belongs to the person privately and in secret. It needs to be protected and not shared easily with outsiders. The public self is the front door, how we meet and greet others. Asian cultures in general educate toward this type of private versus public self. You may have heard of the we self in Asia. It makes one unlikely to share inner thoughts and opinions, not even in the classrooms. Together with the kind of classroom politics I talked about earlier, speaking without prior approval will be punished, and sometimes one's opinions will be met with ridicule, even by the teachers. When one's idea is considered unintelligent or not publicly accepted, ridiculed by the classmates and teachers, that leads to and other issues, losing face. Now, of course, all cultures are concerned about face, but face to Asians is an important social topic. It's a way to do social control. But to Asians who make private and public self-distinction, it is so important. It has to be protected with all costs. If face is ruined, one will be collapsed. The person is considered losing social status among peers. Since childhood, having gone through years of education, we have learned one thing: not to express real opinion easily. Even one gets the teacher's approval, one still needs to think seriously what to say or what not to say, since it is always possible and in a concern that someone thinks your opinion is unintelligent. In Asia, for people who are growing up with this concern about face, public self, or we self, are extra cautious about what they will say in public. Based on our childhood experience, speaking in the classroom isn't a safe activity. So I say, if you are an Asian student, but in the Western world that now you live, that encourages individual expressions, it is quite safe. That emphasis isn't about saying great ideas, but the practice of sharing. It takes courage to try. For non-Asian teachers, now you know why those of us don't speak up more. And if we understand the cultural preference of those Asian students, verbal expressions of inner thought and opinion, as in circle learning, can be seen as stripping the right to privacy. Some may experience it as a mechanism for mandated disclosure, whether or not they are ready to contribute. Now, English fluency, face saving, past experiences, and the idea of collective cultures are all in the place. As teachers, it will be good to spend some time to understand your students' background and cultural assumptions. Trust building is extra important for deeper level of sharing. It takes time, and for personal inner sharing, it takes even longer time or never happen. At the same time, it might be good to examine our own Western adult education assumptions. To do some dialogue and analysis, it should be good for your teaching. So these are my initial thoughts. I hope my sharing will be helpful to your teaching. Whether you are a student or you are a teacher living in North America, I hope having some dialogue and conversation will be good.